My God is not a bully.
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 My upbringing in church, it was never, oh, gay is wrong, and I didn't really know what gay was. It wasn't really taught about in my church, so I never knew that, oh, it was like an abomination or, things that I learned as I grew older. But the biggest fear that I had was, my daddy doesn't go to church, so he might go to hell if he doesn't go to church. So, Daddy, come on, go to church with us on Sunday, So, as far as learning that gay was wrong, in church, I never learned that growing up at all. It wasn't until I was older and I actually, I guess you could say found out about my sexuality. It all kind of came to light. I was about 18, 19 years old, and I think that just life and just knowing people and talking to other people and other, I guess you could say, church folks, made me feel like what I'm doing was wrong, or being gay was wrong, being a lesbian is wrong. You are supposed to be with a man and supposed to procreate, and that's just the bottom line. But it took my own self to pull my own self out of that pit that I was in, to think that there was something wrong with who I loved, or being with women, having a family with a woman. I had to pull myself out of that. I had to find my own spiritual journey, if you will, through prayer, listening to other, I guess you could say, people who weren't so biased, as opposed to being gay or being straight or whatever, and just finding my own road. And it taught me, God is not a bully. He loves everyone. He's created me, so he makes no mistakes. So if this is how I am, then that's just how it is. And I'm a very spiritual person. I don't necessarily go to church now. I think it's a lot of judging that happens in a lot of churches. I'm not saying all churches, but there's a lot of judging that I feel goes on, and I just want to have a more one-on-one spiritual connection with God, and nobody can, put terms on our relationship. So my God is not a bully, and I know this, and I live by it, and there you go.